Welcome back into Kentucky Newsmakers on WKYT. We're glad you're with us today. Home sales are strong in the Bluegrass region right now. Many realtors call it a seller's market because the inventory is low and the competition for houses with a sign in the yard can be fierce. We even hear some reports of some people asking to buy homes that are not listed for sale. The Lexington Bluegrass Association of Realtors recently announced home sales in 2016 topped $2.5 billion. Ty Brown is the president this year of the Lexington Bluegrass Association of Realtors. He is with Weichert Realtors Town and Country. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks for having us.
This is a good year to be serving as president, isn't it?
Can certainly be worse, yes.
You worked that out well. Describe the housing market, Ty, as you see it out there right now.
Well, the housing market in Fayette County and the LBAR area, which is 22 counties, is pretty strong right now. Months of inventory for a whole service area is about 2 months, depending on how you calculate it. Last year, numbers were up, total activity is up about 10%, prices were up about 5%. So homes are selling very strongly, very well. Months of inventory, what that means is basically if nobody adds another home on, that's how long it takes to sell out everything that's available. And anything under 6 months is pretty strong, and we're under 2 months in most areas, and Fayette County even less. You
were telling me you've been a realtor for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
You have seen some ups and downs, yep. Certainly. Are you amazed by the numbers you see right now?
It is sometimes kind of amazing. I mean, thankfully here in the Lexington area, Central Kentucky area, we don't have the big booms or the big busts. We kind of chug along. But numbers are, it's kind of crazy. There's a lot of stories of people going into multiple offers and winning and losing those. And then, that can be good or bad depending on the situation. So, the homes are people, there's a lot of demand for them. And there's just, quite frankly, in my opinion, not enough people are willing or wanting right now to sell their home. And it's the time of year to do it.
We mentioned earlier, sometimes you'll hear people literally knocking on doors and asking, would you like to sell?
Happens all the time. An agent of ours actually is doing that right now. A buyer wants to be in a certain area. There's none on the market, and I said, go say hi to people, see if they want to sell.
So what's fueling things out there right now?
Well, there's a lot of pent-up demand. That's pent-up demand and the low interest rates are the two things that most people point to. And while those are certainly issues, I think a lot of it is just the growth, and it makes sense to buy a house right now in the market, especially in the area. If you can get money at 4% or less, or even 5% with the rates are low, that's pretty historically good number, and it makes it affordable. And people, want to have the ownership. They want to have the pride of living in their own home, and of course, the American dream. Everybody talks about that, but I think this is a good place to live. It's a good area. People want to be here.
And the equity that comes once you begin making those payments?
Homeowners, net worth is 100 times higher than the average renter. What
are the trends, Ty, that you're seeing out there in the terms of the kinds of property that are moving right now, the price segment, and location, so forth?
Well, the locations is kind of spotty. There's some areas that are just super hot, some, not as hot. But right now, probably the biggest single I think people are looking for is energy efficiency. People want the smart homes, the nice energy efficient homes. As always, kitchens and bathrooms are always very important to people. Living space. People are probably getting away from some of the monstrous homes. They're getting a little bit smaller. Nationally, it's a big thing. Fayette County, maybe not as much, but the size of homes is, coming down just a little bit. The big crazy outdoor living areas is that's the trend starting to go away a little bit. But people, they want a kitchen where they can live, work, do everything they want to do, and be reasonably close to amenities as well. People seem to like that, be able to get to shopping and dining and not have to commute a significant amount of time to do that.
Do you find this? Millennials are said to be more likely to want to be renters at this point. They maybe don't want the responsibilities of home ownership. Maybe they're not in the position to have the down payment or be able to move forward. Do you see that?
You do see it. I think it's actually surprising that, this is anecdotal, obviously, just what I've noticed, but a lot of millennials come to the market more prepared than people mine your age. They come, they know what they want, they know what they're expecting to get, they know the service they want to receive, and they come prepared to buy now more than they used to. I think the rental time period is maybe more of a time of preparation, maybe saving some money, and it comes down to education too. A lot of them don't know that you don't have to have a full 20% down or whatever to buy a home, which kind of scares some people out of the market, because that's a significant amount of money.
15 years ago, you know, there was a big flight out to the suburbs or to have an acre or so or something like that. The Great Recession caused a lot of folks to really rethink a lot of things, including living closer to work and, as you said, amenities. Is there anything new in terms of the trend you're seeing there?
You know, those have stayed pretty similar. There has been some of the townhomes and condos, which are, I guess, more than likely to be closer to downtown, have done very well last year and the year before. They're up, and they struggled through the Great Recession, as you say. And I think that the biggest thing is really come back just to people who they want to, like I said, they want to be a place where they can find where they want to go to work, find where they want to eat, it's all close together. The big homes, the big lots, probably the last 2 years I've actually had more people say that the yards were too big as opposed to too small. Now, I don't think that's a big trend, but when you hear, first time you hear somebody say it, you're like, wait a minute, that's not what you're supposed to say. But they have. They say, I don't want a yard that big. And I think that's, you know, the baby boomers and even the millennials, they don't want an acre or 10 acres of land to mow and to deal with. I certainly couldn't manage it.
The homes, you know, we referred to the McMansions back 15 years ago or so. Is that also, do you see the same? You were mentioning homes are getting a little smaller.
I think so. I think they're, not that there's not a market for them, but I don't think that you don't see that many of those being built newer and people pushing for them. I mean, the ones that are there staying and selling and doing okay, but there's not a big, I don't think it's going to be a growing market for a while. If
somebody's thinking of buying or selling going into the spring, and I know that's when things really get rolling, what should they be thinking about right now?
Well, it's very important in this market to go into the market buying and selling with a plan. Have it, you know, I always say you have your ducks in a row. I mean, if you're a buyer, you've got to be ready to buy, and it may be the first house you walk into, you're ready to buy it, and you're not going to have a lot of time to then go to the bank to get pre-approved to decide if you want to buy it, because that house will be gone by the time you do any of that. You got to be ready to, you know, pull the trigger if you're committed to buy a home, if that's your situation. Same thing with sellers. I mean, sellers with the low inventory, they have to be ready. Where are they going to go? Right. You know, so, and that's a big thing, and I think that's holding some people back. But it's a good time to start now. I mean, start talking to your realtor, start getting on lbar.com. You can go to your guy's website and get there, but start planning what you want, know where you want to be, get your, you know, kind of get your ducks in a row, get a plan. Buyers and sellers, and it's very important because, you know, 40 days or less, the average home sells right now, and that's not a lot of time to sit around and think about what you're going to do.
And I would take it is true that people look more in the spring.
Activity certainly picks up from probably the first and middle of March till about the time school lets out. And then it slows down a little bit. Summer's always busy, but it's absolutely the prime time, busy time for buyers and sellers. Right now is a great time to be thinking about doing it.
And you see the good trend continuing?
I do. Everything we've seen month to month, actually the month to date is up almost 18% activity. So that's huge already, starting right out of the gate.
Ty Brown coming in the president this year, and thanks for coming from the Lexington Bluegrass Association of Realtors.
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys, and look forward to talking again.
We'll do it. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of Kentucky Newsmakers. Follow me on Twitter at KY Newsmakers. And don't forget the latest news bright and early on WKYT this morning. We start at 4:30. Have a good week ahead.